Hello students, you have learned earlier about multiplication and division. Today you are going to quickly review what you have learned earlier. So now let us review. Question number 1. Solve the following. Sum A. 32 multiplied by 21. Students, before solving the sums, let us quickly review what you have learned earlier. Students, we know that the numbers that are multiplied are called the factors and the answer is called the product. We also know that when we multiply two numbers, the first number is called the multiplicand and the second number by which multiplicand is multiplied is called the multiplier. Let us recall the steps involved in multiplication. Step number 1. Write the multiplicand above the multiplier. Step number 2. Multiplication is done column wise from right to left. Step number 3. If the multiplier has more than one digit, then multiply the multiplicand by each digit separately. Start with the multiplier digit at the smallest place. And step number 4. If there is carry over, add it to the product of the next column. So now let us solve sum A. Students, in this question, you have to multiply 32, which is multiplicand, by 21, which is multiplier. Students, we know that in order to multiply, we have to start multiplying from ones, then tens, then hundreds, then thousands, then 10,000s, and so on. So now let us solve sum A by following all the necessary steps. Let us first of all solve step number 1. Students, in step 1, we have to multiply 32 by 1 once. Thus, multiplying 2 by 1, we get 2. Students, now we have to multiply 3 by 1. Thus, multiplying 3 by 1, we get 3. Students, note that if your step 1 is wrong, your whole sum will be wrong. Students, now let us solve step number 2. Students, in step number 2, we have to multiply 32 by 2 tens. Students, we know that when we multiply by tens, we have to put 1 0 at the end, that is in ones place. As in 10, there is 1 0 over 1. Students, if you will not place 0 at one's place in second step, you will not get the correct digit at the correct place. So now let us solve step 2. First of all, by placing 0 at the ones place exactly below 2. Now, let us multiply 2 by 2. Thus, multiplying 2 by 2, we get 4, which we have to write in tens place exactly below the digit 3, thus writing 4. Now we have to multiply 3 by 2. Thus multiplying 3 by 2, we get 6, which we have to write in hundreds place. Students, now we have to add step number 1 and step number 2 to get the product or final answer. Students, we also know that we have to start adding from ones place. Thus adding 2 plus 0, we get 2. Now adding 3 plus 4, we get 7. Now writing 6 as it is, as there is no digit to add. Thus, the product of 32 and 21 is 672. Now sum B, 456 into 14. Let us solve step number 1, where we have to multiply 456 by 4 ones. Thus, multiplying 6 by 4, we get 24. Students, 24 is 2-digit number. So, we have to write 4 down, that is in ones place. And we have to carry over 2 to tens place, thus writing 4 in ones place. Students, now we have to multiply 5 by 4 and then we have to add 2 to the product which we carry over. Thus, multiplying 5 by 4, we get 20. Now, adding 2 to 20, we get 22. Students, as we got 2-digit number, so we have to write 2 down, that is in tens place, and we have to carry over 2 to hundreds place, thus writing 2 in tens place. Students, now we have to multiply 4 by 4 and then we have to add 2 to the product which we carry over. Thus, multiplying 4 by 4, we get the product 16. And now, adding 2 to 16, we get 18. Students, now we have to write both the digits, that is, we have to write 18 as there is no more places to carry over, thus writing 8 in hundreds place and 1 in thousands place. Students, we completed step number 1. Likewise, we have to complete step number 2. But in step 2, we have to put 1 0 at the end. So, let us first of all put 1 0 at the end, that is in ones place. As in 10, there is 1 0 over 1. Thus writing 0 at ones place exactly below 4. Students, now we have to multiply 6 by 1 and we have to write the product in tens place exactly below the digit 2. Thus, multiplying 6 by 1, we get 6. Thus, writing 6 in tens place. Students, as we got 1-digit number, that is 6. So, unnecessarily, we don't have to carry over. Students, now we have to multiply 5 by 1. Thus, multiplying 5 by 1, we get 5. 5. We have to write 5 in hundreds place, exactly below 8. Students, now we have to multiply 4 by 1. Thus, multiplying 4 by 1, we get 4, which we have to write in second step in thousands place. Thus, writing 4 in thousands place. Students, now we have to add both these steps. That is step number 1 and step number 2. Students, we know that we have to start adding from ones place. Thus, adding 4 plus 0, we get 4. Now, adding 2 plus 6, we get 8. Now, adding 8 plus 5, we get 13. Students, as 13 is 2-digit number, so we have to write 3 in hundreds place, and we have to carry over 1 to thousands place. Thus, writing only 3 in hundreds place and carry over 1 to thousands place. Students, now we have to add the digits 1, 4 and 1, which we carry over. Thus, adding 1, 4 and 1, we get 6. Thus, the product of 456 and 14 is 6384. Now, sum C. 132 multiplied by 164. Multiplying 2 by 4, we get 8. Now, multiplying 3 by 4, we get 12. Writing 2 in tens place and 1 carry over to hundreds place. Now, multiplying 1 by 4, we get 4, and adding 1, which we carry over, we get 5. Now, let us solve step number 2 by placing 0 at ones place and multiply 132 by 6 tenths. Thus, placing 0 at ones place exactly below 8. Now, multiplying 2 by 6, we get 12. Writing 2 at tens place and carry over 1 to tens place. Now, multiplying 3 by 6, we get 18. Now, adding 1 to 18, we get 19. As 19 is 2-digit number, so writing 9 in hundreds place and carry over 1 to hundreds place. Now, multiplying 1 by 6, we get 6, and adding 1, which we carry over, we get 7. Thus, writing 7 in thousands place. Students, now we have to solve step number 3. In solving step 3, we have to multiply 132 by 100. Students, as we know that when we multiply by 100, we put 2 zeros at the end, that is in ones place and tens place. Then we start multiplying, thus writing zeros at ones place and tens place. Now multiplying 2 by 1, we get 2. Now multiplying 3 by 1, we get 3. Now multiplying 1 by 1, we get 1. Students, now finally we have to add all the 3 steps. Starting from ones place, that is right side. Thus adding 8 plus zeros, we get 8. Now adding 2 plus 2 plus 0, we get 4. Now adding 5 plus 9 plus 2, we get 16. As 16 is 2-digit number, so we have to write only 6 and we have to carry over 1. Thus writing 6. Now adding 7, 3 plus 1, which we carry over, we get 11. As 11 is 2-digit number, so writing 1 in thousands place and 1 carry over to 10,000s place. Now adding 1 plus 1, which we carry over, we get 2. Thus, the product of 132 and 164 is 21,648.